Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I got here, but I kind of still feel like somebody made a mistake somewhere, but I'm going with it.
Hello, my name is Russ Milheim. Thank you for talking to me about the Pit.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, now I've seen the first 12 episodes so far, and they've all been great. So congratulations.
Thanks.
So, but just my first question is, man, you are fantastic on this show. And when I was looking on your IMDb, this is like basically your only like big credit. And I was like, what gives? Like, that's great. What led you to this show?
Yeah, man, it's like it's nuts. It's the Hollywood classic. I graduated from drama school like 2 years ago. I've been doing theater for about the last 10 years, sort of all across the country. But yeah, when it comes to sort of film and TV, I'd done one episode of Law and Order, and then this, which has been just like an actual miracle. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how I got here, but I kind of still feel like somebody made a mistake somewhere. But I'm going with it.
Now, episode 10, that this storyline finally culminates with, Langdon he seems like a pretty great doctor, but then now he's skimming medicine, and he gets caught and he's spewing all these reasonings about why he did what he did. But in your own words, I want you to give it to me straight. Why would you say he stole all that medicine?
I think this is not an uncommon problem for people that work in emergency medicine. Um, we've got so when we're filming, we have med techs who are real life nurses and doctors that that's their day job, and then they'll come and be on set with us to sort of make sure we do all the procedures right and stuff. And throughout the season, I've had all the med techs and come up to me and be like, "This is a real problem. This happens all the time." And you can say why, like, you know, I think, my parents are both emergency workers. My dad's a lifelong paramedic. My mom's a lifelong ER nurse. And so, like, I know to some extent just the toll that this work can have on somebody. Like, you know, um, like at one point, like my dad held the record for the state of North Carolina for most saves in the field, like people that had lost a heartbeat, and he brought them back. And I think the number was about 90. And so if he had, it didn't dawn on me as a kid, but and I think now these days, like if he had 90 saves, like how many battles did he lose? How many people did he lose? But as a kid, they wouldn't talk about their work to me. They would come home and they would ask me about baseball and, why I was smoking weed in the parking lot. And, they were just, good parents. But that loss, that trauma, it hits the body and it's there, whether you speak about it, whether you have the ability to sort of digest it and move through it or not, it's there. And so I think there's quite a few people in this field that self-medicate in one way or another, and this is how Langdon feels like he needs to do it in order to meet the demands of the moment.
Do you think Dr. Robbie made the right call in that moment and how he did it in terms of like, pushing you out the door basically?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation. I think he makes this incredible liability, right? To have a doctor running around taking drugs, because you don't know what that does to his decision making process. And this is high stakes poker that we're playing. Like if I'm a little bit high and I make a wrong call, people die. Um, and I think Langdon would say, but I don't make the wrong call. I'm the best guy you got, and I do what I got to do to do my job. So I understand why Robbie does what he does.
Yeah.
It's definitely the responsible and legally sound thing to do. Uh, but yeah, I think Langdon feels like he's definitely done enough to earn his spot and earn a little bit of trust. So
How is he feeling about Dr. Santos? Because he obviously is going to put two and two together and be like, oh, she ratted me out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a spicy relationship for sure. I think Santos is, I personally I think Santos is great. Santos is comes in and she wants the ball. And that's what you want. That's what you want from an emergency medicine doctor. You want somebody that wants the ball. They want to be on the front lines. Now her, appetite and her ambition kind of outreaches her experience and her ability. And I think that really rubs Langdon the wrong way, but I think it probably rubs him the wrong way because she's probably coming into that hospital very similar to the way Langdon came into that hospital. And so I think there's probably a little bit of reflection there. Um, and so yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And Issa, who plays Santos, is amazing and she's really, really fun to play with. So that's a blessing.
Mhm. What do you think was Langdon's first stop after he left that hospital ER after being pushed out the door? Do you think he even left the premises?
No, no, I don't think I went anywhere.
Just
Um,
waiting.
well, because you got to think about it. Yeah, like I've got a wife and kids at home. And as soon as I go home, I'm gonna have to explain to my wife what happened. And
Hmm.
I don't think I'm like particularly excited and eager to jump into that conversation. And so what I do, what I do whenever I'm released, I guess that's up for the audience to imagine, but I don't think I wander far.
Now, episode 12 sees the hospital kind of go into crisis mode, and Langdon does make a surprise return. And this might seem like an obvious answer, but kind of in your own words, can you explain why Langdon kind of made that choice to come back no matter the consequences and what he might expect, like Robbie's reaction to be the moment he walks in that door?
Sort of like same thing I was saying about Santos. What you want from a doctor is somebody that wants the ball, and Langdon wants the ball. It's sort of like, it's like Kobe Bryant when the game's on the line, I give us the best shot to win. We got a major catastrophe here. A lot of people are in critical condition. A lot of people are going to die, and I know that I give them as good of a shot as anybody. Drugs or no drugs, I know that I'm the man for the moment. And so I think I come in and, I do the thing that I dedicated my life to do, which is saving lives. So,
Do you think do you think Langdon still thinks he has a shot at keeping his job, or does he think that might be over, but it doesn't matter because this situation is more important?
yeah, exactly. I think as far as like what happens long term, what Robbie does, as far as letting me stay or not stay, or how he's going to react to me showing back up, I think there's a lot of unanswered questions there, and it's definitely a huge scary thing
Hmm.
for me. But as we see, like with all the characters, Collins goes through a miscarriage. Um, and then another patient walks through the door and she attends to that because that is what needs to happen now, regardless of what's happening with her. And I think it's the same thing with Langdon. I got a lot going on with me, but right now, the most important thing is, putting out the fire. And so we'll deal with the repercussions of my choices long term. We'll deal with that down the line. But right now, we just got to save the life in front of us.
We talked about your rocky relationship with Santos, but after everything happens and now we're in crisis mode and everyone's lives are definitely more important, would you say he's approaching every interaction with her differently now to just try to make sure he's as cool and not stepping on toes as he can just so everyone can focus, including her and you?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think we have a lot more story to tell there.
Oh,
Uh,
more confrontations brewing, I think, is what I hear.
it's just really interesting because now the thing is naked, right? Like
Hmm.
the conflict has been addressed. So which we've all like, regardless of whether you work in a hospital, or you work in an office, or you work in a restaurant, like we all have that coworker where like we tiptoe around each other and we sniff each other out for a while, but then something happens and like conflict comes out in the open, and then you got to keep working together. And that is a really interesting problem for us to have. So yeah, I think there's a lot more story to be mined there.
Sir, thank you so much for talking to me today about the show. I look forward to seeing how the next three episodes play out, and I hope Langdon gets to keep his job because you were just renewed for season two. So hopefully something happens there.
Yeah, me too. My John Wells has my application. I am
Yeah,
interested in the job, so
I think you made a pretty strong case. So
cool, man. Thank you so much for having me. And I
of
love
course,
whatever is going on in the background here. This is crazy.
thank you, thank you. Yep, a lot of fun little collectibles and statues of a variety. No emergency room stuff though, sadly.
Well, I'm sure we can send you something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.